Ortega method is a very quick method, but also very simple to learn. You don't need to learn many new skills, all you need to learn is PBL. So when we solve this, I'll get into a little overview first about how we solve it and what the method's like. It's very easy to learn, it's much quicker than the beginner's method. However, it's slower than something like the EG method or the CLL method because it's a lot more basic. So we'll scramble up our cube and get into a quick overview. So the first step in this method is to identify which face is most solved and finish it off like this. Not necessarily getting these all in correct places. Then I will do one algorithm to orient the last layer edge. Then I will look for bars and I will do one simple algorithm that solves and permutes both layers. This way it's much quicker and there's not over the top many algorithms. Hopefully you should already know 2-look PLL from 3x3 or 2x2. Hopefully you do. If you don't, I will cover it in this video. So let's get into the tutorial. So here I am on doing the last layer, we're doing our orient in the last layer. Here we first look for this case. Here I've got a corner and I've got others going in a clockwise direction around it. So for this case I want to put the oriented corner in the bottom left and do this algorithm. The next case looks very similar. We've still got one oriented corner, but rather than the edges going in a clockwise direction, they go in an anti-clockwise direction around. So to do this, I want to put the yellow oriented corner up in the top right, and I want to do this algorithm. The next case, I have 2 bars, one here and one here, with one out on the side and one oriented correctly. So to solve this, I want to hold one like on the top like this, and the one that's not on the top to my left facing outwards. So to solve this, I do this algorithm, and that is how we solve that case. The next case is this, where I've got 2 bars both facing out. This is the same as on the 3x3. I want to do face move, triple sexy move, and undo the face move, and it's solved. Let's move on to the next case. The next case looks like the last case that we just had, where we've got 1 bar here and nothing on the top. Instead we've got 2 pointing outwards like this. So I want to hold the cube like this with the correct bar on our left facing that way, and I do this algorithm. Let's move on to the next case. So the second to last case that we can have is 2 opposite corners of the yellow like this, with 2 yellow bits like that. So I want to have one facing me and one to the right like this, making a pattern like this, and I do this algorithm. Let's move on to the last case. Here is the last case that you need to learn for OLL. So I have 1 bar up like this and 2 facing outwards like this. Don't get confused with the case that has these 2 facing out and the bar here. This is a separate case. So to solve this, we do this algorithm written up here. Now, let's move on to step 3 of Ortega method. So, for our next step, we will permute both layers, and what we want to look for are bars like this. So, the first case we have is with one bar, and by bar I mean two correct edges next to each other like this. And since we've only got one bar, we do this algorithm. Now, on our second case, we look for more bars again. Now here we've got two bars like this. So I want to make sure that these two are aligned like this. Now I do this algorithm. And that has solved that. Another case when looking for a bar is we might see no bars like this, where, well, there are no bars and everything is incorrect. So, doesn't matter as such how you hold it. I like to match up colours like this, but it doesn't matter, just from anywhere, go. And that solves it. So, let's move on to the next set of cases. Now we're on to the last two, which you should already know from 3x3 how to solve. So we've got our bottom bit entirely done, and on the top we don't have any bars, and this needs sort with that. This is the Y perm from the 3x3. Now let's move on to our last case. Here, like last time, we've got the bottom entirely done already, but instead of these two needing switch, these two need switch. You should know this case, and we can identify it by this bar here. This case is the T perm from the 3x3. So, to swap these two, I hold it with this on this side, and I go. And that is all the cases for PBL. So now, hopefully, you should learn Ortega method. So just learn the algorithms, practice it and get good. And hopefully, if you practice, you should be able to average sub 10 very easily. So thanks for watching, and please subscribe.